Hi and welcome to Lahar and Pestis. This is going to be our first video. I am Pestis.
I am Lahar.
And for our first video we decided to cook for you instead of doing something a little bit more scientific. We're going to make tortillas. Alright, laid out in front of you, you see some of the ingredients that I'm going to be using. I have got my corn flour here. I've got a half of a lime here for flavoring. I've got salt. I've got the dish for squeezing the lime, and I've got the dish to pour it into to separate out all the gunkies. I have got about 1.5 cups of warm water here, and I've got my measuring cup to measure out the flour. Now, the recipe calls for a little bit less than 1.5 cups of water. I am using 1.5 cups of water because every time you make bread or a bread product, it's always going to be different each and every time, so you need to be able to adjust the flour and the water to get the correct texture, because that's how you make bread products, is based on the texture, not on a recipe. With that said, let's go on ahead and get started. Now for making bread, usually the first thing that you want to do is you want to put your flour in first. So I'm going to measure out 2 cups of flour, and I will keep the flour next to me so that I can adjust if needed. There is 3/4 of a cup. There is 1.5 cups. And another half of a cup makes 2. And I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to take my ring off and put it up here. And I'm going to start adding the water and kneading with my hands. Now I'm going to make a little bowl into the flour to pour the water into to make it easier to begin kneading. I'm going to start out by pouring the majority of the water in, reserving some, like I said, to adjust texture later if needed. And I start kneading. Alright, see how crumbly this is? This is not a dough yet, but I'm going to go ahead and keep kneading here for a moment. And separate that out into a bowl again. And now I'm going to add the salt with this addition of water. Alright, now that I have got that to this point, I am now going to juice the lime to add to the tortillas. Will you throw that away? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Now, the reason that I am adding the juice from half of a lime is to add more flavor to it, because I'm really big on cooking with flavor. I don't like having flavorless food. And the best way to flavor your food is to flavor every component individually, because then you have to do less to it at the end. While I am juicing this lime, we are planning on making a more scientifically based video tomorrow or the day after. We haven't decided yet. And my question for you guys is, if anybody watches this video, is what would you like to see in a chemical reaction involving potassium permanganate? Now, most people know that potassium permanganate is easily reacted with glycerin or glycerol to help start fires for camping. And what I want to do is find other things that can be added to it that people might be carrying already, so that you don't have to carry a separate liquid, because carrying a liquid when you're camping, especially if you're doing backpacking or ultra lightweight, that kind of thing, is extremely difficult to do. You really don't want to carry stuff.
So about how much of that do you think? Is like a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons?
Half of a lime.
Okay.
That's... And I'm going to go ahead and add that so that we have another liquid component there.
These are going to be amazing.
I hope so. I definitely hope so. So, getting back to our first video stuff, you probably want to know a little bit about us. And while I am focused on this, I'm going to let my beautiful wife tell you a little bit about herself.
I am a geology major for environmental geology, and I look at rocks. That's basically what it is, and water flow and how we get our water. And my focus is starting to be more toward to the water aspect of it. Other than that, I've got a lot of hobbies, probably more than I could really list or talk about. So
It's basically why we're doing this, is to show everybody our hobbies.
Yeah, pretty passionate.
All right, and where'd you get the name Lahar?
Because it is a type of a, I guess you say mud flow, that actually it's melted snow mixed with rain, and then it mixes with the sediment off of, let's say, volcanoes and mountains, and it turns into a flow, and those can be pretty dangerous. But I'm actually kind of fascinated with how that all works, and unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of damage that comes with it if it hits a populated area.
Okay. Well, I am Pestis. I am a microbiologist. I have several interests in microbiology. I originally wanted to be a pathogenic microbiologist and an infectious diseases specialist. I still want to do that. However, I am finding interest in a whole lot of other areas of microbiology as well. So basically my focus is gram-negative bacteria. That's what I like the most. They're more interesting of an organism to me. They're generally considered to have some of the more deadly pathogens involved in them. And when a gram-negative bacteria develops resistance, it usually is resistant to multiple things at once. And getting through that resistance is what really, really intrigues me. My name that I use, Pestis, comes from Yersinia pestis, which is the plague. And that's where my interest lies. Now, for my hobbies, I love doing outdoor stuff for my hobbies.
That looks really good.
Yes, it does. It actually is coming together nicely.
At all?
No, it's not. Yeah, go for
Sorry, I
it.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Oh, that's nice. That's probably what you could work with.
Yeah, this is where I'm stopping at.
Okay.
So, that said, a lot of the videos on this channel are going to consist of outdoor stuff. There's going to be stuff on geology. There's going to be stuff on hydrology, microbiology, chemistry. We're going to have physics and math. And there's going to be outdoor stuff because I like to do outdoorsy things. It's kind of why the next video is going to happen is, you know, like I said, camping uses, they use potassium permanganate and glycerin to start fires. Well, if I can find something that people can use readily, that's readily available, that's easier to carry around than another liquid, then that's what I'm going to try to do. That said, I think we're going to get back to our cooking now. This looks like a ball of ready-to-use dough for a tortilla. And what I am going to do after this kneading session here is I'm going to start breaking off pieces and rolling them into a ball. And then I'm going to put them on the counter. And since the dough is not sticky, I am not going to dust the counter with any flour.
I'm going to use a technique that I've seen a lot of people talk about, so we'll see if it works.
And don't forget the book on the shelf for weight.
Alright.
Alright, so I'm rolling these into, I don't know, 1.5, 2-inch balls. And I'm going to test one right quick to see how flat it comes out and about how big of a circle it is, so I know if I want to add more or not. And I want to make this as thin as I possibly can. Again, tortillas. After we're done making the tortillas, we are going to be frying up some hamburger meat in the skillet there. And making a taco mix so that we can have tacos with this. And we'll show you that too. We're not going to show you us eating. Because that's one of the rules for our channel here, is you're not going to get to see what we look like.
Yeah. Anyway, so here is, oops, almost. I mean, this bag's been fighting, but I think I got it. I'm not going to bother cutting them into circles because
okay. I don't think that this is big enough. So I'm going to add a little bit more.
Okay.
And then I'm going to roll.
Forget how big they said they should be. When you're like rolling them up into the ball and then pressing them.
Alright, so we've got maybe 2 inches there. Let me add a little bit more to it. I don't think that that really added very much of the flour. Alright. And I think I'm going to call that done because we don't want them too much bigger than that or else they'll be hard to cook. So, we will come back when we are done rolling these and have everything all laid out ready for the next step.
And you know, one of the things I don't see a whole lot, you don't see is that where people show where they mess it up. You know, people have this idea that, you know, it's supposed to go smoothly and perfectly as they see in these videos. The reality is that these people are probably not having that kind of luck right off the bat.
Right.
You know, especially if you don't do it. This is our first, you know, well, being the first time doing it, that's kind of trial and error for us, but anyway.
Yeah. So, like she was saying, this is our first time trying this, and we just realized that we messed up. So, I am making them smaller, much, much smaller. And after much experimentation, I think that this is going to be about the right amount. So, now that we've made our mistake, and well, I'll show you some of the clips of some of the mistake.
It happens.
It happens. We decided to, you know, show you our boo-boo. And now that we've hopefully fixed it and got the right size dough going here, I'm getting back to the ball rolling. And
Did you do that?
yes, I did. And after this is done, I will put them in our makeshift little press here. You see our cookbook back over there. Actually, maybe you don't. So there's the book I'm going to use and the rolling pin to help get any thick places out. Alright, welcome back. I am rolling the last one. This recipe made 13 of these dough balls for trying to make tortillas. And by trying, I mean trying again. This is our first time, my first time ever doing this. I've made taquitos before in the past from scratch and stuff, but never done a corn tortilla. So, here is our setup for doing that. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little squeeze down here since I don't have one of those tortilla presses. And I'm going to put the other one on top, like so. And to give it somewhat of an even pressing, I'm going to use the book and put weight on it. Now we're looking for a size of 5 to 6 inches in diameter. Isn't that what the recipe said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
5 to 6 inches in diameter. And if I'm not even close to that with the book, that's what the rolling pin is for. Alright.
That looks good. That looks really good.
That does look pretty good. And it doesn't feel too
Go you. That's
thick.
good.
Well, it's kind of still thick here in the middle, but
Get a nice round.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it another quick little press to even out my finger presses that are in it. Alright. And I'm going to put the book on to the side. Yeah. Alright, there is my first one. Now, from everything that we've read, the tortillas...
I have that little tortilla thing up there if you want it. The little
That's
round.
for afterwards.
Okay.
So, the recipes have said that this part is the tricky part that's coming up. Let me get rid of some of these dishes here. I'm by my sink, so you're going to hear me putting dishes in there. Okay. Thank you for your patience there. And there is one. Now, everything that I saw and read for this says that this is the difficult part. So what I am going to do is I'm going to pull this gently off of the plastic.
Perfect.
Like so. And no, I'm not cooking them yet. That's why I got a bunch of plates to keep them separate. I'm going to keep rolling and pressing and then cook.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put that there.
Would you like some parchment paper? Like small pieces of it?
Yeah, that would be great, hun. So Lahar is going to be getting some parchment paper ready, so
Might be a little loud.
it might be a little bit loud. And I'm going to continue pressing. And we'll get back to you when we get to the next step.
You made her.
Alright, welcome back. This is our last one. And we have preheated the skillet so that I can start putting these onto the skillet, and it helps if I put the paper on it. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but it's really easy to keep parchment paper from being annoying if you fold it back against the curve from being on the roll. And put it on there for the last time, thankfully. And we squeeze.
A lot of smashing.
Lots of smashing. Smashing skulls. So, while we were doing this, we were wondering about making this a regular thing, cooking for you guys. And I was wanting to know, first, if you thought that cooking for you was a good idea, and second, what would you like to see for a meal next week? Or whenever people see this video, and let us know. So, think about it, and let me know what you'd like to see me cook for you.
Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comment section below. And we'll see what we can do about making it for you. Oops, bumped into the camera there, sorry. Now I'm just spreading it out from the center a little bit. I noticed as I got farther along that sometimes the center didn't get quite as pressed as it could have. And there we go. So I've got this ungreased skillet over here that has been on the burner now for a few minutes. You probably saw us put it on there. And it's pretty warm. I don't have an exact temperature for you, but it's pretty warm. And put that away now. I'm gonna.
Not quite on the high side, but not quite.
It's medium warm.
Yeah.
Or medium hot. There we go.
It's like 6 on our stove, whatever that means.
So I am going to drag the plate over now, and we're going to start cooking these. Alright, welcome back. Here is the skillet. I've moved you over. Here are the corn tortillas. Now I'm going to put it in the middle of the pan, and we're going to wait as we until the edges. Hey, look, it's Leiden frosting. What do you think about that? Science on the first one, after all.
Do you need this?
No. So the steam that is being produced underneath there has the water inside of there is sublimating, going straight from the liquid to the gas, and it's lifting up our tortilla, and that's why you saw it start to move. That might be too warm.
The sides look like they're drying. Did you have something you're going to put it on?
Alrighty.
We're just going to circle it through and go out that way.
There we go. And now I'm going to gently lift it up and turn it over.
Well, we'll taste that one and see how that one tastes and like.
Well, it also has lemon juice in it, which is different from the recipes.
That's true.
So, lime juice. Excuse me, lime juice.
Lemon juice.
So you see our first one there. We looks like the edge got a little bit burned. But, you know, this is a learning process. We're learning with you. You're getting to watch this for the first time for us. I don't know how many times you've seen somebody do it, but... Nope, still not lifting up. I think that next time I'm not going to put lime juice in it.
I was reading one thing, this lady's like, I'm from Cuba and that's what we do. But maybe the heat was just too high as well.
Maybe.
So,
So now that the first one is done, I'm going to let my pan cool down a little bit, and we're going to taste that and see how it turned out.
I hope
Very nice texture. Look at that.
Hey.
See that? So,
Woo.
Can't taste lime at all.
So the wine didn't really make a difference.
No. Lime made no difference.
And it's thin enough that it did get cooked in the middle. Okay.
Alright, hopefully that's cooled down some. And I'm going to put the next one on. This one tore on the edge. I almost always burn the first pancake too.
I like that with cookies. My first batch is wrecked. The second one comes out a lot better. Nice.
There we go. That looks better. And there's a lot less smoke too. And welcome back to Lahar and Pestis. This is Pestis speaking. There's Lahar standing over there. And we are almost done with these tortillas. So far, so good. After that first tortilla accident or mistake or whatever it is that you want to call it that I had, they've all been pretty good since then. One got a little bit crispy on the edges again. But that's, you know, user error. And that's fine. I can accept user error because that means I can fix it. And those of you that watched the entire video, I've got a question for you. We'd like to know a little bit about you. So, you know, when you just leave down in the comments if you feel like, you know, where you're commenting from. You know, it's interesting for us. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what I'm doing wrong, too.
Always room for, you know, improvement for stuff.
Always room for improvement.
Especially when you're doing something for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we learn.
That's exactly how learning goes. You do something once, like in medical school, the way that it's done, you know, they show you once, and then you do it once, and then you have to teach it. And then you're considered proficient in that task. That's kind of how stressful medical school is. You know, you have it once, do it once, and teach it once, and that's it. You're good to go. And our last one. That's like, you know, cheering stuff or something. Yay!
And the peasants rejoice.
And the peasants rejoiced. Alright, well, it looks like this one's going to smoke for some strange reason. It's a bad habit. It should quit. Oh yeah, we're full of lame jokes. Or at least I am. I think I'm hilarious. She just rolls her eyes.
Goes both ways, really.
Alright, so if you can hear it in the background, we have got our microwave running. We are defrosting the hamburger meat.
I hope they can't hear it.
Well, maybe they can, maybe they can't. Anyway, in the background, our microwave is running. Microwave, there we go. It is running and defrosting the hamburger meat for the next step of this luscious nomminess. And I'm going to be making a taco. And welcome back to Lahar and Pestis. We have finished defrosting the hamburger meat, and we are about to go on ahead and start cooking it. Now, I have got all my seasonings lined up for what I call my taco sauce, and I'm going to go on ahead and give you the recipe, or Lahar can read it while I look for our kitchen scissors.
There's 1 tablespoon of mixed peppercorns, 1 tablespoon onion powder, 1 tablespoon ranch seasoning, 1½ tablespoons dried chives, ½ tablespoon ground cumin, 1/3 tablespoon of ground chili powder, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, and 1/2 tablespoon of oregano. And then we'll put this all in the
Box, comment box, or
Yeah.
not yeah, you know where we're going to put it.
information thing.
So, there's our hamburger meat.
I got it. You got it.
Alright. And we're going to brown the hamburger meat. I'm going to cube it, or crumb it as quickly as I can, so that I can start turning it, adding the spices, and all of that. There's not very much salt in this recipe. I salt to taste, so put whatever you feel like in there. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of salt, maybe less in there. And I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to use my hand to do it. And I'll show you how I do that in just a second. So here's our chili powder, and I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle that through. Here's our oregano. Again, I'm going to sprinkle that through. Now, hey, not all of the chili powder came out. What? Alright, here is our cumin. Or cumin. I've heard it pronounced that way as well. Our ranch seasoning. Here is the freshly ground multi-peppercorn pepper. Mixed peppercorn, there we go. Here is the chives. And here is the garlic and the onion powder. And just mix it all together.
Do you need water or anything?
Not yet. And I'm going to go through and continue to crumb the hamburger meat. I like ours as fine as possible whenever I do this, because it makes it easier to scoop and all of that stuff. And it also extracts more of the animal fat, the grease. Because I usually only buy 80-20 hamburger meat. 80-20 has the best texture in my opinion, and it makes the best hamburgers. And since I never know when I'm just going to hop into the kitchen and make a hamburger, I keep it on hand. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit and crumb for, or brown for a little bit. Now, I want to remind everybody that you can't judge the doneness of hamburger meat by its color. While the denaturing of the proteins can sometimes provide a good guesstimate of the temperature, it's not accurate. You can actually have still red meat that is at the proper temperature. And since really the only thing that you're doing is cooking, getting it to that temperature to kill bacteria, you could still eat it that way. Huh?
It's consumable.
It's consumable. Well, my wife, on the other hand, she likes for her hamburger meat to be brown. And that sometimes can require higher temperatures, internal temperatures, than the recommended 140 degrees. So I am actually going to let this sit until it turns brown, because that's her preference, and generally mine too. And once it gets to the brown step, I am going to add a little bit of water into it to turn this kind of sort of into a sauce. And I'm going to add a can of fire roasted tomatoes.
I can't put my cube. I got some. There we go.
Now, normally I try to roast tomatoes myself, but for the last couple of years we haven't been growing any. For the last many years we haven't been growing any. So I don't have any to roast myself, and it'd be kind of difficult on an electric stove anyway. And I don't have a barbecue pit, so that makes it kind of difficult to accomplish. Going ahead and let this finish getting to the appropriate color. I'm going to let it sit and rest. I wish you guys could smell this meat.
It smells absolutely amazing.
So yes, there is method to piling it all up in the middle. The top of the hamburger meat is going to act as an insulation barrier to help keep the inside a little bit warmer. It's also going to help keep the moisture on the inside to keep the meat tender, more tender. And well, basically it's going to be like a blanket for you, for the hamburger meat. And so the inside of it is going to get warmer, and the flavors are going to mingle better, and it's just something that I learned actually from watching Alton Brown on the Food Channel, Food Network. And ever since I've seen that, this is what I do. Although usually it's not like a perfect structure like this. You guys are special. Alright, I am going to drizzle the water in now from the side.
Get all the nice flavor off the pan.
Yep. Get all the little flavorings off of the pan. And now I'm going to mix the hamburger meat into the water. And we're going to let that reduce just for a minute or two. And then I'm going to add the tomatoes into it. And yes, this is the same pan and still got the burn marks from the tortillas. I'm trying to get whatever flavors there might have been stuck on that into the hamburger meat, and this will also help me clean up the pan, because the water, the boiling action of the water will get those the starch off of the pan, making it easier to clean later.
Yay!
And that is already boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and add our can of fire roasted tomatoes. Now, this brand of tomatoes was extremely sweet, which is not something that we like. So that's why, if the seasoning seemed a little bit heavy to you, that's why the seasoning was heavy.
Yeah.
As they try to cover up the sugar that they added to the tomatoes. And we didn't know that they added the sugar to the tomatoes because it's not listed on the ingredients. We didn't find it out until we tried to make spaghetti sauce with it. And the spaghetti sauce turned out, well, sweet. I don't know if you've ever had sweet spaghetti sauce, but it's not
pleasant.
It's not pleasant. Kind of wish I'd saved that lime juice for this step, but
Okay.
would you like for me to add some lemon juice to it?
I think yeah, it's a Mexican type dish we're doing. So.
Okay, I'm going to add some lemon juice to this to give it just a little bit of bite. And I'm going to add a little bit of jalapeno juice to it as well. Excellent. You can't see that label. Oh, wait.
The best jalapenos I think I've ever had.
Right? Can you hand me the lemon? Thank you.
And there, you're back. You can have it back. Just mixing it in.
Okay.
There you go.
And now we're just going to sit here and we're going to let this reduce down to get the liquids out because we don't like soupy tacos. And then we will take the hamburger meat mixture and we are going to put it into our taco shells, or excuse me, our corn tortillas there. And then we are going to nom the holy living stuff out of this dinner.
And of course, you know, you can add it like toppings if you're doing tomatoes, lettuce, all that stuff.
Cheese, sour cream. But I think our taco shells are a little bit small for that, so we might put a little bit of cheese.
Like put just like a little bit of meat and stuff on it. So.
Yeah. But other than that, this meal is going to be done because, well, we're going to eat and not talk to you. So thank you very much for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see more. And leave us a comment down in the box below letting us know, you know, like if I made the tortillas right, what else I could do to make them better, what I did wrong, that sort of thing.
Tips, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Hints, tips. Let us know what you would like to see me and Lahar cook for dinner next time. And until then, you guys have a wonderful day, night, whenever you're watching this.
All sexy hair.
Hi, Precious. Hi, Patience. Hi. Oh, look at those beautiful eyes. Mwah. Go back to sleep, honey. Thank you for letting us take pictures of you.